increasing my speed now, going up to fourth gear, increasing my speed, checking lane 1. I can see there's a van in it. I'm checking my mirrors, blind spot, he's moved over for me, and I'm on, and I've used basically the entire slip road to build speed. Hi guys, how you doing? This is another video about how to get onto a motorway using the slip road. I've already done this, so I've linked the video that I've already made to this already in one of the cards that you've seen at the top, and I'll also link it at the end, and I'll probably put it in the description box as well. But this video is a real focus on HGV drivers, so heavy goods vehicles, and how they respond to cars coming down the slip road. And I've got Peter with me. So I've already done an interview with Peter, which you may have already seen on the channel. However, I've got him in the car this time and we're talking about it. And he's also given me some really cool footage as well from when he's driving. And it's been really, I've got to say, it has been really, really fascinating. Because when I teach this, I always tell my students, when you're going down this slip road, you need to use the slip road to build your speed. It's very, very important that you use that slip road and go to the pinnacle, well, sometimes to the pinnacle point to build as much speed as possible. You've got your mirrors on, you've got your signal on, you're building your speed down there, and you're trying to match the slowest moving vehicle in lane 1 when you're doing this. So important. So as you're driving down the slip road and building all that beautiful speed, if you notice that in lane 1 there's a bike or a motorbike, it's quite likely, because they're easier to manoeuvre, that they might try and go to lane 2 for you to let you join the motorway, which is quite nice. But as I talk to my students about this when we're doing this, I always say the HGV driver, the heavy goods vehicle, is unlikely to move around for you. They sort of stay in their lane and they're going, this is what I'm going to do. This is my behaviour. You act around me. And I was fascinated by this. Like, why don't they move out of the way? Why aren't they moving into the second lane for us? So I wanted to talk to an HGV driver, hence why Peter's in this video today, because I really wanted his opinion on it. Why is he not moving out of the way? And I've been enlightened. So it's all got to do with the heaviness of his vehicle. Yeah, he may be carrying up 40 tons of weight. It's very difficult for him to move lanes. And Peter enlightened me about his HGV training and his driving test. So if you are to change lanes from the first lane to the second lane and it's unsafe and you push people out of that lane, you'll fail your test straight away, which makes perfect sense. Car drivers will also fail for that because it's how dangerous it is. So the HGV driver, because he's so heavy, if it's unsafe to move to the second lane, he's not going to do it. He's going to stay in his lane and address his speed gently to let the person come in. He keeps his speed constant. He's looking at the vehicles on the left side coming up the slip road. It's vitally important that, depending on the location of the HGV, that you increase or decrease your speed and get down that slip road. You may be able to merge in front of him like that. It depends on his situation. If you can see that he's further forward, of course, you need to come off your speed a bit and go behind him. Obviously, this can be the safer thing to do, depending on the location of the HGV driver. We don't always go in front of it. We can go behind it if needed. But he's going to go down there and go solidly. This is what my speed is. You can do 70 as the car driver or the motorbike driver. So maybe use that extra speed to get down that slip road and in front of the HGV. The HGV is going to find it very difficult to change lanes for you. He's only got a top speed of 60. He's literally limited to 56 miles an hour. So you can hear about that in the interview that I did. Yeah, the law is that they can do 60, but the limiter on the actual HGV itself is down at 56, you know. So because we've got more capability of going faster as a car user or a motorbike user, we can use maybe that extra speed to get in front of the HGV if it's safe to do so, if the location of the HGV allows it. Oh, yeah, depends on where he is. Or, you know, if you're going down, you can see the HGV is like in front of you, then of course, come off your speed and go behind him. All right, let's go into more depth about this. I've also included overtaking, so how to overtake an HGV driver, what mirrors you need to do, what blind spots you need to do, and also how to come back in safely by seeing the vehicle in your interior mirror, which is the flat glass mirror that shows you the truth, which shows you that you've overtaken it properly. and then you can check your left mirror and then your blind spot to come back in. I've included that as well. I really hope you find this as fascinating as I do. Here's some footage and some conversation with Peter. Because I've noticed that when I'm in a car and I'm coming down there, that sometimes the HGV drivers don't tend to move from the first lane. So hence why I'm sat with an HGV driver. I'd love to talk to you about that. So as I'm coming down the slip road to get on, that van over there, he did move out of my way. But because I assume it's easier for him to like move his vehicle. Yes. So tell me about what you as an HGV driver think about when there's a car coming down the slip road and you're in lane 1. Like, how do you feel about that, or how do you act as the HGV driver with the car coming down the slip road building speed?
I definitely need more room to change lanes, so it's not that easy for me to do as it was for that van.
Yeah.
For many reasons. There could be traffic next to me in lane 2. There could be fast approaching traffic as well further up, which I should not stop them moving forward. So like, if I'm changing lanes, I have to watch out. First of all, if it's clear for me, if it's safe, and with somebody flying down the middle lane is not ideal to move into his path. He could be distracted. On the other side, I'm watching the position of the cars. Keep an eye on all my mirrors. If the car is matching my speed or doing a greater speed than I am, I definitely will slow down, or like, not with my brakes, but I will lift my feet up of the accelerator and keep a close eye on how he's moving, how he's speeding up. Very often you will find, we don't have to move lanes. All we have to do is just lift the feet up. So many times when I change for a car joining, as soon as I'm in the second lane, they're speeding up on the split road and joining the motorway in front of me. So they never needed the space I'm in, actually.
And I love it how Peter's been able to capture that footage for us on this video. So Peter safely moves to the middle lane, because if it's safe, he's allowed to do so. But it just proves the point that he moves out of the way of the people joining on the slip road, and then they increase their speed, accelerate away. So his movement to the right-hand lane was literally completely pointless. You know, he's taken all of that risk, the mirrors, the blind spot, the changing of lanes, the load that he's carrying. You know, there's so many risks to that changing of lanes that if he just stayed in lane 1, like he was saying, the person on the left is very likely to increase the speed and go down there and accelerate away, because they're allowed to do 70 and he's only got a 56 limiter, you know? In the interview that we did together, Peter was telling us that the most unsafe place to be around an HGV driver is in their left blind spot. You basically just don't want to be in an HGV blind spot. It is incredibly dangerous, because even though they've got all the video monitors inside, which you can see in this video here, those are the mirror monitors but there's still really big blind spots. You do not want to be hanging around near an HGV's blind spots, especially the one on the left Peter was telling us about. That one can be particularly nasty if you've got dirty mirrors and an HGV, with grey cars especially. He's worried about losing the actual vision of that car on the left-hand side. Basically, if you're in an HGV blind spot, strongly suggest that you either go slightly faster to get out of it or back out of it, so you're not in those hidden places near the HGV. Overtake it promptly if you need to, or stay back and stay behind. You know, just don't hang around near the HGV. You know, they're doing 56 on their limiter anyway. You can do up to 70. You know, just get cracking. Do the speed limit safely that you're allowed to do if you can, and it's safe to do so, and just press on. You know, don't hang around near the HGV, just like Peter says in our interview. You know, just promptly overtake. Don't hang around in their blind spots. You know, we spoke about GV's wheels just exploding, or if they sneeze, they could like change position and things like that, because they're only human, aren't they? So just keep safe, guys. So we spoke a little bit about you being in the left lane and that you wouldn't necessarily move to the middle lane because of the faster moving vehicle on the right in the middle lane. But also you feel that sometimes people would increase their speed and go in front of you. And I remember when we spoke on the phone, or whenever we spoke before, that you're worried about moving into the middle lane if the person is going to enter the first lane and then dawdle and then go really slowly, and then you're stuck in the middle lane. So does that happen often? Like people will just go in the first lane?
For me to be, for us to be worried about, yes, unfortunately. Hard, like driving slow is just as dangerous as driving fast.
Yeah.
Because one driving slow causes others to be driving faster.
Yeah.
So like it's not a good idea whatsoever to stay around an HGV for too long. But on the inside of it, it's just it's straight up silly.
Yeah, that is. We spoke in the interview about like being next to an HGV driver, and then perhaps they could have a blowout of their wheel, or they could move lane, or
completely forget about the car next to them and move over.
Yeah.
This thing happens often, never we like it to be happening.
Out of all the footage that I think Peter has sent me, this one is probably my favourite one because it really just proves the point. He's seen on the slip road a tipper vehicle coming down, which is a large vehicle on the left. He's trying hard to like make things safe by moving over to the middle lane, but somebody's there. So he addresses his speed accordingly to be able to get the tipper van in without moving from the first lane. Oh, I love this this is definitely my favourite piece because that is how I understand it as a car user. As I come down, we have that little gap and we've got to go for that little gap in front or behind the vehicle. Proves the point. Okay guys, let's press on. Let's talk about how to overtake an HGV driver. So this process would be the same as overtaking a car as well. So you're going to see me mirror, signal, blind spot, and then you're going to see me coming back in, and I'm going to talk about how it's very important that you can see the vehicle that you've overtaken in the interior mirror first before coming back in, because that's a flat glass mirror. That shows you the truth. That shows you that you have passed the vehicle properly before coming back in. Have a look at this. That's fab. Right. So I'm going to come up. The person behind me has got his full beams on, which is extremely distracting. So I'm coming up to the guy because he's got a 60 mile an hour speed limit. So I'm checking my mirrors, I'm keeping my distance. I can't overtake at the moment because people in the second lane are overtaking me. So I've got two cars that are overtaking me. I'm checking my mirrors. Yeah, he's doing a perfect 60. So I'm checking my blind spot and going over. So it is I'm doing 63 now. So he's got a top speed of 60, but I noticed in our interview that you said that he's probably calibrated at 56 miles per hour. Yeah. I'm thinking to overtake him and then come back into the left, depending on what's in front of him. So I'm checking my mirrors. It's important that I overtake him completely and that I can see him in my interior mirror before I come back to the left. I'm gonna come back in, so mirrors, signal, I can see him in my interior mirror, checking my blind spot and coming back in. Hey guys, so I really hope this little bit of information has helped you today. It was quite a focus on how to deal with the HGV driver in the first lane and the opinion of the HGV driver, which I found fascinating, and I really hope that you did as well. Like I say, I have made videos about how to join the motorway and it's extremely in depth, so I'll direct you to that video after this, but I really hope this has helped you today as always, and I'll see you on the next one.